2 years ago when I first came to this country. I was an African girl, had my African accent, don't know the British life, but I was eager to learn the British life. But I was hoping that people from my own race can teach me the ways and ways to help me. But no, they condemned me because of my accent. They condemned me because I'm fresh off the boat, like they say.
You are actively making sure that someone does not feel good about themselves.
That's discriminating someone, and black people do that as well.
There is discrimination amidst the black people in the black community. And this actually is from a long-term thing, colonialism.
Slavery, exploitation, and a lot of other factors contribute to why.
There's two types of discrimination basically among black people. That can be between Africans, and then that can be between Caribbean people and Africans.
I guess maybe Caribbean people, because they might not feel like they, how do I say this? Like African people are like, oh, I'm from Africa, I belong in Africa. And then Jamaican people might be told, oh, you're kind of like people of slave. Yeah, so it's like you don't really belong kind of thing.
They tend to look down on their fellow black person. And this is because of this mentality of slavery, which they have experienced back home before they found themselves wherever they find themselves. So they feel if they associate more with the people who are of different color, who are of different culture, they feel they will be tagged to be better.
I wouldn't frame the issues around difference between various black communities as discrimination. I suppose I would frame it more in terms of challenges or preferences or the ways in which certain communities, certain groups might other one another based on a number of factors. So factors around skin color.
Colorism thing, you know, the light skin versus dark skin thing, which I feel like maybe a year or two ago was a really big thing. But right now, it seems to have died down a little bit. But here or there, you'll hear some ignorant people say things.
You know, people say lighty, like it's a thing where, oh, if someone is light, you know, it's more attractive. And when someone's more dark, is seen as something, you know, bad. You know, someone can say to you, oh, you're black, and you'll take that as an offense. You know, and someone says to you, oh, you're light, you take that as a compliment.
I think it's more within the black women like circle that they do that with one another, specifically because I guess, you know, women care more about their looks and how they look like, so it's going to be something where they're going to be more at each other's throats about it. But when it comes within like, or actually also between black men and black women.
Black people have been taught to kind of hate themselves over the years. You can put that through, because I'm from Nigeria, so tribalism can start from there. Yeah, we're all Nigerians, but different tribes, different languages, different types of food, different cultural beliefs. Lack of sense of unity, lack of sense of community.
When I look at how we as black people relate to one another, I think that there are elements of a bulimic community within that, because we include people at the same time as excluding them. So there's this notion of solidarity within kind of black communities, whether you're from Africa or the Caribbean or Asia. But at the same time, there are ways in which we're also divided as a people.
I have a friend of mine from uni, and to do with the tribalism thing, where because of his tribe, he wanted to marry this girl. They're from this country, they're not from back home. And just because he was from a particular tribe, her family wouldn't let him marry her. You know, they caused a huge fuss, big problem for him. He was educated, he had money, he was a good person. You know, he came from a good family. But just purely because he was from that tribe, he was a no-no. So, sad really.
The feelings that that person who wasn't allowed to marry the person that she was in love with or he was in love with leaves a leaves a scar, leaves a mark, and we need to think about that.